repeat your own natural moves easier. So here we are. Can you see now, if I have the better leg position and weight distribution, bottom back, small of my back feels a little bit uncomfortable, and it will for you as well. There you are. Can you see now I can get my spine in a good position? Now when I turn, my hip turns easier. My load point is easier. My left shoulder goes down relative to the forward bend I have. So that's relative to the length of the club I'm using. Then you can see, if you just throw in an imaginary thought of a low ceiling, you're not going to stand up as your swing gets longer for the club you're using. Hi everyone, Murdoch here, hope you're well. Now I want to talk about this very common mistake senior golfers in particular make in the setup, and that's bending the knees too much. I just had 2 clients yesterday alone that had the same issue. Now as you get older you get stiffer, we all get that, but the body wants to shy away from anything uncomfortable. And a common term in golf is, bend your knees. You hear that and subconsciously it's always built in to your setup, bend your knees. Now what happens then is you ease any discomfort in the back of the hamstrings and your lower back. As you get older, you lose flexibility. So this becomes somewhat natural for you to do. Then there's this subconscious bounce golfers do. That's what I call it. It's a subconscious move. They don't realize they're doing it. Just before they take the club away, they'll have an extra little knee bend like this. Now you can see what happens. I've got a driver here, and from the down the line view you can see what happens. It changes the position we had our spine. It tucks your bottom back. In this position with your spine more vertical, can you see it makes it very difficult to not turn around yourself, get too deep. Now the error that both of these golfers had was their shoulders would be turning too horizontally in this position. They just could not get the sensation of the left shoulder kind of going down a little bit as you go back. Their arms would always be pulled across their chest, very wide and deep, flat backswing. They'd lose the ability to load on the inside of their right foot. It's very common to get the knee to go laterally. You can see when you bend your knees too much, your lower half is just not as solid a foundation to build a load off. A lot of errors happen from just this mistake alone in the setup. So if you set up correctly, and honestly I do believe weekend golfers playing once a week, you have to spend 80% of your time perfecting the best setup you can do relative to your ability and ailments you might have. Try and stand the best. Always remember in the forefront, the ball is here. The biggest part of the setup is the angles of which your spine is at here. We've got to set the spine angle to the point where as you turn around it will accept the ball on the ground better. Can you see from just straighter legs, bottom will stay back. You'll have the weight on the balls of your feet, bottom will be back. So there's a tightness in my hamstrings there now. Touching the top of your knees is a good indicator for most. Let your arms hang. That's where you'd hold the club. Pull your shoulders back. There you are. So you can see now how I'm now in a position where I've got angles, I've got straight lines. I can turn around them. Now with no club, this is why I love my turn drill. I put it out in a video fresh just a couple of videos ago. So I recommend you watch this because every day you've got to do the same basic moves around the setup to understand limitations and the basic concept of a good swing. So then you can repeat your own natural moves easier. So here we are. Can you see now, if I have the better leg position and weight distribution, bottom back, small of my back feels a little bit uncomfortable, and it will for you as well. There you are. Can you see now I can get my spine in a good position? Now when I turn, my hip turns easier. My load point is easier. My left shoulder goes down relative to the forward bend I have. So that's relative to the length of the club I'm using. Then you can see, if you just throw in an imaginary thought of a low ceiling, you're not going to stand up as your swing gets longer for the club you're using. So just feel as if you're creating a basic turn to shoulder underneath. Don't look up, keep your eyes down. And can you see then your arms want to go up? There's a limit of what can go wrong. So this is key, not this, not bouncing, because then we're inside and then we're over the top. There's loads of swing errors that will stand out and be very frustrating for you from just simply over bending the knees. So check your setup in a window, in a hallway mirror with your hands on shoulders, the down the line view. Uncomfortable isn't necessarily meaning incorrect. In fact, the more uncomfortable you are, probably the more correct you'll be. It's an oxymoron like that, but please try a little bit harder on the setup and you'll see so many great benefits coming from that alone. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed. Comments welcome down below. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.